And now we can start. So what I'm going to do is that this is 3 minutes and a half. I'm going to watch it all. And I'll try not to make too many comments, even though it'll give me a good vision of what's going on. Okay, so can everybody see the stream? Can everybody see my screen here? We have this joystick self-check and the controller overlay. So this is Bobby's take on Neon Height Rings. Can everybody see? Okay, good. Then let's go. Let's see what you do. Let me take the volume off a bit already. Oh, we're locking and clocking. Okay. 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 Opla. Horizontality. Be careful. Okay, we're locking and clocking again. Wait, are you just locking and clocking? The fuck? Okay. Whoopla, whoopla. All the way? Damn, okay. Okay. I already see something that I don't like. We should see here on the right turn. I'm gonna see on the right turn what's going on here. Oh, okay. Oh. Oh, is he gonna make it? Is it? Ah. Okay, I already see something. Okay, once. Okay. So twice. Okay. Okay. Three times. Okay. Is this the end? Okay. Okay. I have seen two things. One of them is bad. The other one can be bad. I'm not really sure. It'll depend on you, I guess. And then I'm pretty sure that at some point you calibrated. Okay. So let's look at those clocks first. Let's take a look at those clocks. This is not the bad thing. This is the... So You're doing lock and clock all the way. This is the first time anyone's done an aerial analysis while only doing lock and clock. Okay? Lock and clock is not how you fly. Okay? But I think, this is my opinion, and I'm the only one to talk about lock and clock and to do something about it. I mean, to talk about this concept. I think locking and clocking gives you a really good proof of how far you have, like how much control you have. And so far, I would say this is obviously pretty good. Because when you lock and clock, you have to fly vertically, which is what you do, and you have to keep your verticality, which is what you do. And at the same time, you have to manage your boost, which is also what you do. So your boost seems to be really okay. And you're managing your verticality, which means I'm guessing you're anticipating enough. Maybe I'll change my opinion later, but so far, I mean, you've been able to go to the level 5 pretty quickly, right? While only dying, I think, twice. Okay, this is for practice feeling. Okay, good. Yes, so I'll have something to say about that practice feeling. Okay, because at some point I don't want to say you're cheating, because I'm not sure it's necessarily a bad thing. I'll talk about it. So, and then we'll talk about the second thing, which is your joystick inputs. So yes, I think so far this looks really good, even though you're kind of taking a tangent on locking and clocking. By that I mean that what you do is that instead of doing a clock at the right rhythm, what you always do is that you do a clock that is too fast, and then when you get to the right part of the joystick, which is your tornado spin, you linger there until the revolution is neutral. Let's check it out. Okay, it starts now. Okay, first of all, you're starting down right. But if you do it quickly enough, you shouldn't turn left too much. Yeah. So you have done a quarter of a rotation and you're already there. Okay, so half a revolution. This is a double clock right there. Okay? Right, I can already say this is a double clock. I'm not saying it's bad, it's really good. I'm just I'm objectively analyzing what's going on. This is a double clock. You keep on going. And here, so this is not a double clock. You should be to the right of your joystick right now. Okay? So. Okay, you do your input here, which is, almost too soon. And you don't go to the right, you go down left. I don't know if this is you did that consciously or not, or if this is muscle memory. So, your revolution starts now, and you're already down left. You should have gone right, lingered a bit, and then gone. So here you should be down instead of like down left, right? This is half a revolution, and you're down again. So you've done one clock in half a revolution, which tells me this should be a double clock. But then look at what you do. Then you go like super slowly on the quarter revolution here. So you do one clock super quickly in half a revolution, and then for the other half of a revolution, you do a quarter of a clock, right? So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, right? You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay. I don't know if this is what you meant to do. A lot of the time, I'm half a rev ahead. Okay. Why do you think you're half a rev ahead? No, he doesn't start with the left input. I'm watching from. Look here. Boom. He's starting here. Like this is almost right, but not far right, and then he goes down left a lot. So you do one really quick clock, super quick, to the rhythm of a double clock because you do 1 clock in half a revolution. Right here. This is literally 1 clock here in half a revolution. But then for half a revolution, for the second half of the revolution, you just go down, right, left. There we go. Okay, and so now your revolution is started and you're at 25% and you're going right. Okay, this is just, I'm just observing what's going on. We'll see what goes on next. Oh, and now you linger. Yeah, see what that made you do? Okay, so that's what I was saying before. Because you're too fast on your revolution, you're going to linger on your right input until the revolution is neutral. But here, you already start doing inputs when the revolution is like 75%. Right? So why do you think you're half a revolution ahead? I think it's because, well, I'm not going to say now. Well, I'll need to see more. But for now, what I just saw in that first revolution is that you start a really quick revolution at a 2 per 1 rhythm, so a double clock, but only on one half of a revolution, and then you try to finish. You do like a quarter clock for the other half of the revolution. So let's look at it again, one last time, okay? One last time on the first one. So you're going right now. 75% of the revolution, you're going right. So this is tempo. Okay? This is tempo, first of all. Now, you go down right, and you do a whole clock until the revolution is half. Right there. Boom. Half a revolution, 1 clock. So this should be a double clock. And then what do? You just do a quarter rev. Right there. So this is so now you're pressing left when the revolution is neutral. And then what do? Like super quickly, you go from left to right because the revolution is neutral. Up, see how quickly, just look at the joystick, how quickly it's going to go from left to right. You ready? Boom. It's like instant. Okay? And you do that because the revolution is going to get neutral. Boom. So now your right input, the revolution is almost 25%. That's fine. So there's like a margin in between 75% and 25%. There's a margin, and we can call that neutral, right? I personally prefer when it's 100% neutral, right? So far, this is a tempo issue to start with because you started your revolution when it was 75% instead of waiting for it to be neutral. Watch. There you go. This is a bit too early. If the car was here, that would be neutral. If it's here, it's neutral. If it's here, it's fine. But if it's here, it's too late. And obviously, if you do it here, which is what you do, this is too early. This, you're going right and then down right, okay? And you have forward momentum because you were driving a bit before. So you're going straight and not too much to the left, obviously, because you don't keep the input there. But so far, you could be a bit more precise with the tempo. And then I think it's, I don't think, I don't know if it's an issue yet, but there's a rhythm issue because of the 1 clock and half a revolution, and then quickly going from you do a quarter revolution quickly and then a quarter revolution quickly to get to the neutral. Okay? Hey, Orange. Okay. So here, watch. You ready? So you're here now. So we saw the first revolution. And now what do? You linger on this for a whole revolution. Watch. And when you're 75% again, so this is a tempo issue, yeah. So you linger on the right part of the joystick. And then when it's 75%, boom, you start turning your joystick. So let's see how you do. So you started down right. So this was a clock, but then you linger on the right side again. So you just did a clock here that was okay. Okay, so you did a clock, then one revolution, like a tornado spin on a revolution, then a clock again. So watch this. You ready? So that's the first revolution. Now you linger, and now you're going to do one clock. So you're starting, now you're doing your clock. Boom, you're almost neutral. Now you're neutral. And now you stay on the right part, on the tornado spin again for a whole revolution. Okay. Then you do another clock. Yeah, see what you... Let's all look at the joystick and see that every time the car is about neutral, you keep your input to the right because you were too early on the clock. Wait. Boom, boom, boom. Right? So you did it twice in a row here. Okay. There's another problem here, but I'll keep it for the next point. Okay? Okay, let's keep going a bit just to see if you keep doing that. So let's just watch you do the level, and let's watch you keep the input to the right because you're too early on your clock. So right, 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 right. See how you linger on the right? And so I guess you got used to that. So now it's you just do it. So basically, again, yes, you do a clock that is too fast, and in order to compensate with that, what you do is that you keep your input to the right. But when you do that, you don't really have a feeling, right? I mean, you have a feeling, but it's not a feedback loop, which is okay, I guess. Got 20-ish hours of practice, so it's good to get the input now. Okay, yeah. It's like almost too late, I guess. Yeah, no, you don't have a tendency. You have you're completely used to it. You don't have a tendency, right? I have a tendency to smoke once in a while, right? you do it all the time, right? Let's see. Let's just look at here. Look throughout the whole level. At each, let's see how many revolutions. I'm gonna count on my fingers. How much revolution and how many revolutions you don't linger on the right side of the joystick, okay? So. Okay, so throughout this whole beginning of the level, do you know how many times I saw you not linger on the right part of the joystick? Twice. One at the beginning. Let's see it. At the beginning, you don't linger at some point. So here, did you see that? Right there. You didn't linger here, right? Boom. Here, you didn't linger. And then later on, like there, you don't linger either. Ready? So now you linger, linger, and you don't linger on the next one because you do a double clock. Linger, 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 linger. And then here you didn't linger. Okay, and what was that? Can we see it a bit more clearly? Oh, I was just on it. So that was a double clock, basically. Not basically, that was a double clock. If you watch it, ready? Here. That's one. That's two. Right there. Okay. But apart from those two times, every time you linger on the right part of the joystick. So now let's think about it. Let's think about it. Is it a bad thing? Do you know how to go straight while doing the clock, Bobby? How are your clocks in free play? Can you go straight while doing a clock in free play? So doing fine in free play. Do you do the same thing in clocks in free play? Do you linger on the right part? Do you do a clock that is too fast and then linger on the right part of the joystick in free play? Here's my question. Or do you do a complete, so do you do what you do, or do you do this? Shit, I need more air. Or do you do this? See how I don't linger and it's kind of fluid, right? Or do you do what you did, which is this? Do you do this? Or do you do this? Trying to be conscious about the rhythm in free play. Okay. So I guess this is hard. Because what you're doing obviously works, but again, you can try to walk on 4 toes and manage to do it, but you're going to be missing 1 toe. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. All I can see is that you managed to do it. But just know that while you're doing what you're doing, you are missing the opportunity to get a feedback of the end of your clock. Right here on the joystick, like right here, this side, this part here, you're missing the opportunity to know what's going on here while you're at 75% of your clock. Do you understand? This is what's going on. Obviously, you know what you're doing, right? But you're missing the opportunity here to get the feedback. And guess what? This part of the joystick, according to angular momentum, is the part that makes you feel your car the most, because it's the opposite way of the rotation of the car, and because it's the diagonal input, right? It's the diagonal input that is opposite to the rotation of your car. So the angular momentum is gonna most be felt here. Okay? Salut Sébastien. On fait une analyse de rôle là. Okay, do you understand? So either you can maybe try to rework on your clocks from free play and try to implement it just like that. Okay, just like that. Just like that during a rings map. Okay. And then you can start locking and clocking. Okay. Or you can keep going with what you're doing, because in the end, this is not locking and clocking is not how you're going to fly in the end. So maybe when you start implementing reverse clocks, for instance, you will stop that habit of leaning to the right side of the joystick. But in the end, one negative thing, one positive thing. The negative thing is that you're missing the opportunity to feel your car at the end of your revolution, which gives you the most feeling, according to angular momentum. But the positive thing is that the tornado spin, to me, is the safe input. So I think it's a good thing that whenever you can, you kind of go to the tornado spin in order to feel safe. Because tornado spin makes you go straight whatever happens if you boost. Okay? May as well adjust it now when I have the opportunity. Okay. Then I guess try to adjust it. How about you just try to give it a shot? Just try to give it a shot, to adjust it. And if you don't like it, don't. Okay? Because clearly you know what you're doing. Okay? But again, we can have habits which are bad habits. But, I just don't want you to come back in 4 months and I see that you have some...
c'est fini là!
Putain, non, let's not do that. Faisons pas ça, s'il vous plaît, fais pas ça pendant l'analyse, s'il te plaît, gros. Ça va aller sur YouTube, ça, en fait. So, I just don't want you to wait. What's the word I'm looking for? Wait. I'm looking for a word. Yeah, try not to have. I don't want you to come back in 4 months and see that you're doing good at air roll, but you still have some knowledge gaps. Right? Do you know what I mean? So give it a shot. Try to give it a shot and to correct yourself if you can. If you don't like it and if you don't manage to do it after a few days, go back to what you're doing now, I guess. Right? But in my view, it's not. My thing is that I have to teach people to do clean things. And then when they're good enough, they can take some liberties. Right? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean, Bobby? So my responsibility is to give you clean things to do. Because in reality, a clock doesn't have to be 1 revolution. A clock can be half a revolution, like a 3/4 of a revolution. Who cares? But when I teach things to people, I have to put things into boxes. So at first, I want them to follow the boxes. And afterwards, when you're good enough, you can take some liberties. Okay? Is that clear enough? So give it a shot. Try to adjust it in Rings Map. And before, like when you adjust it, don't try to lock and clock for a whole level. Try to do clean clocks. Okay, so let me show you. Try to do clean clocks, just as though you were just starting incorporating them. I want to get the basics done correctly from the start. I mean, your basics are not bad. It's just that you're taking a bad habit of not going throughout the whole process of the clock. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So instead of going full lock and clock, why don't you just try a little bit to do clocks as though you were starting to incorporate them in a Rings Map? Okay. Is my game dead or what's going on here? Jesus. So again, so you do your thing, up, down, blah blah blah. And when you get to the end of the level, when it goes straight, you try to get vertical and straight, and then 1 clock, 1 revolution. To just try to get the feel of it. Okay? Okay? Just like that. Okay? Up, clock. But I'm doing the full clock. Full boost, 1 clock. Okay. What am I doing? 1 clock right there. Perfect. Okay. Okay. So, did you get that, Bobby? So yeah, take it back a step. Try to give it a shot while taking back a step. Try to do a proper clock of 1 clock per revolution, or a double clock if you want to. But if you do a double clock, you need to do it to the end. Okay? If you do a double clock, you need to stick to it. Because what you do is that you start doing... So, again, what you do is that you start doing a double clock for half a revolution, and then you stop doing a double clock at the next half of the revolution. Okay, even better. I think it's better if you stick to single clocks. I think working on the basics, a single clock is more basic and fundamental than a double clock. A double clock is too easy to do, and it doesn't let you understand more profoundly what rhythm is. Okay? Good. So let's move on. So that's the first main issue. That's the first main issue. But again, I mean, look at, like, you're doing super good. Well, you're going to fuck it up here, but that's fine. You're doing super good, right? So you do have... It's like, it's kind of weird because it feels like you understand rhythm, but you kind of... You're kind of starting on the wrong foot. It's like you're trying to learn how to walk, but instead of walking, you're jumping on one foot, right? But you become good at it. This is what I always say. You can train for years, okay? You can train for years doing something that is not optimal, and you can be good at it because you've trained so much. But it's not optimal, right? It's still better to walk with both feet. Do you know what I mean? I'm a drummer, sloppy one though. I mean, you're really close to doing it well, right? And the same thing for the tempo. You're starting your revolutions not when the car is neutral, but a bit before. And the only reason that you don't turn, I mean, there's two reasons you don't. So we're at 121, okay? 121. But if I go to the beginning here, no, now. The only reason you're not turning to the left now, oh, there's three reasons actually, now that I see it. There's three reasons you're not turning to the left here. Can anyone tell me what they are? Ready? Not now, but starting from the input, now. There's like three reasons you're not turning to the left. One, he's doing it wrong. Yes, he's doing it wrong, but he's still managing to, kind of work it out. Can anybody tell me? So let me show you the thing. Okay, now that's enough. We don't need to watch more. Starting from here, starting from here. Okay. There's three reasons why you don't turn to the left, even though you made a down right input. Okay. Anybody know? From here. It's not a reverse clock. This is a clock. It's not a reverse clock. So this is one reason. Not enough boost. So if you look at your boost, right? Now you're boosting. Now you're not boosting anymore. So that's the first reason. You don't keep the boost enough for you to turn. The second reason is that you're doing a clock. Okay? So you're starting... My question was, why doesn't Bobby turn to the left here, even though he made a downright input at 75% of the revolution? Why doesn't he turn to the left? You shouldn't turn from here. You should turn towards the screen a bit. So the first one is because of the boost. So you're boosting now, but now you're not boosting anymore. Okay. We don't need the rest of the revolution, because it all happens at the beginning of the revolution. The first thing is the boost. The second thing is because you're doing a clock, so you're not lingering at all on your joystick. You're not lingering enough for the vector to appear. And the third reason you're not going to the left is because you have some forward momentum. Okay? Even though it's just a tiny bit. Okay? Yeah, input too short, yes. If you had stayed longer on down right and you had kept boosting, not here, but here, if you had kept the input there, you would have gone to the right. To the left. You would not have gone there because your car is 75%. So it kind of turns around. Instead of going left, you would have gone like here, a bit towards the screen, like towards us, a little bit. Okay? But imagine if you do that during a game. Right? If you do that, if you want to turn left during a game and you do that, you're not going to turn. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, you need to kind of get the shit out of your boots a bit so that you can be more anchored to the ground, basically. I don't know if that's the good analogy to make, but, you have a bit of dog shit under your feet. You have to scrape it off, okay? As in scraping off the bad habits and the little tempo issues and rhythm issues. And come back to clean basics. Get my shit out of my boost. No, but you know what I mean. Like, you're doing fine. It's just that you're you could be cleaner on the basics. The tempo. Your revolution here is not fine to make an input. This is not a fine moment to make an input. Okay? And your rhythm after it, so you do right there, you did, as we saw before, you did 1 clock in half a revolution. And then you kind of cheat here and go poop, trying to make the end of the double clock. But it's not a double clock anymore because you stayed too long on an input. Yes? Okay. Let's go back to 121. So yes, I guess I've talked a lot about this issue, but I've never seen that. I've never seen anybody do that. I don't do it myself. I understand why it works. The only reason it works, by the way, is because it's a tornado spin. If you pressed your input, any other input, it would not be the same. Well, maybe the reverse tornado spin, obviously, but if you pressed any other input than those two ones, you would not have the result you have right now. So you can thank God that the tornado spin makes you go straight, and that you can also thank God that you're good enough at boosting so that you know how to cheat a bit. Right? Okay, so again, does this first point make sense? Did you see what I saw? Is it clear? I'm not going to say it's 100% bad, but I'm not going to say it's 100% good. It's kind of in between. As we say in French, you have your ass in between two chairs. Okay? And you have to make a choice here. Either you come back to the basics, or you keep on doing what you're doing, and hopefully as you get better, you kind of start compensating for that gap that you're making. Okay, you understand the point. Good. Okay, now let's move on to the second point. Actually, no. Let's move on to the third point. Yeah, that's what you hear, but look how well you're flying. What you're doing works. I just personally, it's not my favorite thing. Because when I do it, okay, if I do it, I'm not shit. My bad. I have to restart it. If I do it, I will linger sometimes. So here's the difference. Sometimes when I realize that I make a clock that is too fast, I linger on the right part of the joystick. Because lingering on an input is part of lock and clocking. Okay? But I don't do it constantly as a way of lock and clocking. Here's the difference between what you do and what I do. You do it as a way of lock and clocking. I do it sometimes because I realize that I'm making a mistake and I'm going too fast on the clock. So I adjust myself. I just use it to adjust myself and then be clean again. You use it to constantly have the same result. Okay? But when I do lock and clock, right? Holy shit. Am I not waking up today or what? Wait, I know what's going on. Oh, I know what's going on too. Oh no, that's fine, okay. I thought my computer was a bit slow. When I do it, okay. Do you see my joystick linger here? I've made single clocks and double clocks. Here I lingered a bit. See? Because did you see on that last revolution right there? I lingered on the right part. Because I did my clock too fast. So I came to the right part of the joystick when my revolution was not neutral. It was not done yet. Okay? So here I lingered because I need to go right. This is the second point I want to make. Okay? Like, you don't see my joystick linger at every revolution. Okay? And that's the difference between you and I. I use it in order to adjust. You use it as a technique. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's way less. Again, I'm going to repeat what I just said so it's clear. I use it to adjust myself. But you use it as a technique. And this is what I think is wrong. Even though you managed and you're pretty good at it, I think while doing that, you're lacking an opportunity to feel the end of your revolution, which means learn the end of your feeling. So if you don't go back, here's the negative point. If you don't go back to the basics, which you don't have to, again, but if you don't go back to the basics, at some point when you're gonna need to feel your car and to recognize the feeling from your car at that very instant, at the end of your revolution, right here, right? You will not recognize it because you've never worked on it. Okay? That's my point. And what I'm trying to do when I teach is that I try to give as much feeling as I can to people so that they get used to it and at least they've tasted a bit. But you say that in free play, you do it. So you should know the feeling already. I'd rather weed out bad habits now before it's not too late. Don't mind putting in the hours. It's fun by the end of the day. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I find it fun. Some people don't find it fun. Way more consistent movement of the joystick. Yes, because so my movement has a more consistent rhythm. If you and I we go straight while doing a rings map, I will be my rhythm in the joystick will be more consistent than yours. And don't mind, you see when my joystick stops every time? Don't mind that because I'm not doing that. This is what the overlays do. They make you think that I go left, up, right, down. But what I'm doing on my joystick, it's a really circular motion. Okay? There's no, like, I don't stop as you see here. Okay? And the thing is that if you and I go straight on one level of rings map while doing clocks, maybe because I have a more consistent... Well, I mean, that's not really true because you're consistent too, though. I was going to say I'll be more consistent and you will maybe sometimes fuck it up because you have to catch your joystick to the right every time to compensate for your bad rhythm. But again, you seem to be pretty consistent with it, so I'd take it back. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know, Ariel Betonel. I'm sorry, man. When I do an aerial analysis, I try to focus on the aerial analysis because this is going to go on YouTube and I will have to edit it out if people make me talk about something else. Okay, sorry about that. So let's go back now to the third point that I want to make. I'll talk about the second one in the end because I want to keep it for the end. At some point, and I think it's at the level after, I saw you calibrate in order to go to the right. I want to make sure that this is the case. Oh, maybe it's during this, actually. Oh, there we go. You ready? He needs to turn to the right. What does he do now? There we go. That was it. So let me check again. I think this is the one. I need to look at both the car and the fucking joystick. Yeah. I don't know if you did that on purpose, but that was kind of an attempt to calibrate. So you need to go to the right here. Okay. And what you do is that now, see, you're lingering a bit. So that was almost calibrate. You did it a bit too early to calibrate, but watch closely. It's going to be now. You're lingering a bit here. That's a quarter of a revolution. So it's a bit less than half a revolution. I don't know if you did that on purpose or not, but that was almost calibrate. You ended up doing a reverse tornado spin, right? But that was almost calibrate. Yeah. Do you see it? So had you done that, had you pressed right now, you would have turned to the right. No, I'm sorry. Had you pressed left right now, you would have turned to the right a bit. Okay. So you start pressing left now. That's a bit less than half a revolution, because now you're up, and the revolution has made half a revolution. I don't know if you did that on purpose or not. Oh, there we go again. See? That perfect. That's it. That's the one I was looking for. So that's... Yep. That's calibration. Did you do that on purpose? Are you aware that you did that? I'm guessing yes, because you did it. So you must have some feeling and some knowledge of it. But watch it. You ready? Now. No, shit. It's the next. Now. It's not conscious. Okay. Do you calibrate in free play? Do you do the calibration exercise? Is by feeling? Yeah. I think that's good. I mean, why not do an input in... Why not do a directional input in the middle of the revolution? It's always good, right? The more you can have... The more inputs you know, the better you're going to be if you manage to do them at the right time. We don't do it because it's impossible to learn all of the inputs, right? It would take a big brain to do that. But this is calibrated. This is calibration. You're almost half a revolution. So calibration starts at 25%, in between 25 and like 50%. And right now you're almost at 50%. So what does your nose do? It goes to the right even more, right there. See that? See the difference? Look at the angle here and now. See? So it becomes a reverse tornado spin on another plane, right? Basically, but my brain is not that big. I think it's good that people learn at least. This is the point of calibrating. The point of calibrating is two things. First of all, it's an introduction to reverse clocks. But secondly, it's also an opportunity for me as a teacher to teach at least one input in the middle of the revolution, because we've been saying all this time that you should make inputs at the beginning of the revolution, which I call tempo, right? But it was an attempt for me to teach people how to make one conscious input in the middle of the revolution, basically. Even though it's 25% to 50%, right? And now you linger on the right part, and you go back again. Okay, so that was the third point I wanted to make. Now let's talk about the last point. Let me tell you something. How are you? You have basically done exercise number 2, I guess, Bobby, no? I counted something before. Yeah. I counted something. What is the input in left arrow? What input do you have to do to go to the right at the neutral revolution? Tell me, Bobby. Bobby only. What input do you do? Up, yes. Do you know how many times you've gone up here? You've gone to the right by pressing up? In those whole 3 minutes and 31 seconds? I've counted before. Do you know how many times? That's what you heard me say 1, 2, 3 when I first watched the thing. Yeah. I think it was, if I remember, it was like maybe 20 minutes ago, but I think it was 3 times I counted. 3 times. Right? This is not good. The first point was good and not good, but this is not good. I mean, it's not good. I'm not scolding you, obviously. I'm telling you it's not right. It's not good. What you do all the time, since the beginning, every time you need to turn to the right, you go down or downwards with your input when the revolution is about like between 50 and 75%. Just look here. Here you need to turn left and then right. So now you're down left, a bit down left, so you go to the left a bit, right? Well, you do. So, okay. I didn't see that. I just saw something. Here, you should be turning now. Okay? So this, I don't think it's anticipation. I think it's the wrong input. Because you do it twice in a row. So I think it's, if you had done the mistake once, it would have been anticipation. But because, so let me explain myself. Here you go to the left. But you should be going down because you want to go to the left here. So you should be pressing down. But you press far left instead. A bit like, it's a bit down, I guess, but it's far left. Most of it, mostly, right? So what happens? Well, you go straight because it's a reverse clock, right? I mean, it's a reverse tornado spin, right? But then when you're here, you press down left a bit more, and you keep it. Oh, you keep doing the clock. So what you should have done is press down now. If you press down now, obviously you're doing lock and clock, but you can still press down and then catch the clock. Okay? It's funny because I just saw that. I didn't see it before. But so I guess with the lock and clock, which is a challenge, maybe this is just a speculation. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay? You tell me. But my guess is that because you're putting yourself a challenge, which is locking and clocking, which is hard to do. Okay? It's hard to do what you're doing. So you should be proud of it, right? But because it's still a challenge, you kind of fuck up the directional inputs, right? Because right here, you should be pressing down. On your lock and clocking, which goes like this, here you should have pressed down, linger, and then go to the clock again and catch the clock. Okay? But instead you press left and you continue doing your clock. And here again, so here you linger a bit on it. Yeah, see, you linger a bit on it. That's why you turn left. Right here, you ready? So if we just see it without pausing, when you're about to touch the yellow ring, you're going to linger a bit down left, like a bit left and down left. Okay, which makes you turn a tiny bit to the left because you're doing a tornado spin. Watch it. Now. Boom. Okay? What you should have done, if you want it to be clean, obviously, I mean, I'm just talking about how to be, like, super clean, right? Because if you could, let me just say, if you compare my air roll to someone who knows how to air roll, my air roll is much cleaner, okay? In the end. Maybe you can beat my score and shit, but my air roll is clean, right? I turn when I need to turn, mostly, and my car stays straight as much as it can, right? But here, if you press up and down, for instance, you should have pressed down here. Instead, you do your clock, and here you linger a bit on the downside, then left side, downside. It makes you go a bit to the left, and then you catch your clock again. But so that was just a little thing. Now let's come back to the up part. Watch this. I paused it at the right time. Yeah, I paused it at the right time. It was a bit lucky of me, but... Okay, so watch this. Here, you turn left now. You turn right now. Okay? Where's your joystick? Where's your revolution? Your joystick is down right. Your revolution is half, which means that you're going to turn to the right now. And you do that consistently throughout the 3 minutes and 31 seconds. Instead of here pressing up at the right time, which was before, no, you shouldn't boost all the time to clues. You shouldn't boost all. You should boost at first when you make an input. I teach to boost when you make an input to know what the car does. But here, Bobby is doing something a bit more complicated, which is locking and clocking. Obviously, he has to manage his boost, which he does really well. Okay? But when you start off, you don't want to press boost all the time. You need to learn feathering your boost. But when you make a directional input, like up and down, if you do the second exercise, you should boost every time you press up and down. Okay, so what does Bobby do here? Down right, half a revolution, which makes you turn to the right. Okay? And there we go. Again. Turns to the right by going down right. And you do that all the time. And I think this is really a bad habit. Like, I'm 100% sure. This is my opinion, right? Someone else who does what I do might tell you differently, but I hardly think so. Well, I mean, nobody does what I do, to be honest. But I think this is a bad habit right there. Okay? And we can see it every time you turn to the right. Like, every time, dude. Look, you just did it again. Well, it was... Maybe you lingered to the right here, but you at the same time, you go down right in order to turn to the right. Your revolution is set 75%. You go down right, and your nose turns to the right. And you can tell me, yeah, but then he went down left. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. He's doing a clock, which means that the second input is not going to be there yet. It's going to be there at the third input, right? That's the definition of a feedback loop. It's not the first input. It's the second one. And again. So then you go straight on. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's look here. Let's look here. There we go. See? And you lingered enough for your car to turn to the right. Just look here. You don't linger here. But now you linger. Do you see it? Put input up in order to turn. So what he does is that he's doing a feedback loop, but instead of... When you do lock and clock, you should be doing two kinds of feedback loops. Two kinds of clock. The first kind of clock... Okay, the first kind of clock... Okay, there's three kinds. The first one is you going straight. So basically, you just do this. A single clock, normal clock. The second one is when you need to turn to the left, which means that your clock needs to be, at the next revolution, your clock needs to be faster, because at the next revolution, you need to be already down. So if you do a clock faster, then you're going to turn left. And the third part, the third kind of clock, when you do a lock and clock, which Bobby does not really do, is that you need to make a slower clock so that at the end of your revolution, you have not finished your clock. You're here instead of being here. So basically, you do this and then this when the revolution is neutral. So you make a slower clock and then you turn right because you're on the top input like this. Okay? So first kind is this. Second kind is this. I did a faster clock. And third kind is this. Okay? And see, I turned a bit to the right. Okay? And Bobby only does one kind. Bobby does this one. Okay? But he does that thing in two different manners also. He does it to turn left, which is like this. And he does it to turn right, which is, let's see if I can do it because I have muscle memory. Let me think a bit. So I have to do this. Oh shit. I have to do this. Yes, just like that. So I do a faster one. There we go. And I turn right. Does it make sense? So what does that do? Well, that doesn't... when you go back... When you're going to incorporate reverse clocks, it's going to be really hard for you to start your reverse clocks from the top part of the joystick because you're so used to be on the bottom part when you turn to the right because you do it when the revolution is not neutral. So this is something I really believe this is something you should work right now. You should work on it right now. So does it make sense? I've never said it as clearly, by the way. So there's straight clock. Then there's a faster clock. And you end up the revolution. You start the new revolution with the input down, which is like this. And then there's the third kind, which is the opposite. You do a slower clock to end up your revolution here, like this. To turn right. What Bobby does is that he does the first one, the second kind, to go left. So he does this well. But then instead of doing a slower clock and finishing it up here at the next revolution, up like this, what he does is that he does it just like the second time, but a bit faster, so that when the revolution is at 75%, he's already pressing down. He's already down. So he does this. Shit. This is weird for me to do. Shit. I just did it before. Oh shit. I'm doing good clocks. Fuck. There we go. And now he's going right. I feel like I'm getting a driver's license. Okay, so did you see it? No, you know what? Let's see what you do on this. So you start doing it now. Ready? Now. And now, because you have like momentum to the right, you do your weird clock with the tornado spin. But it all starts at the beginning. We're here. Let me check. Here. It started here. You did it here. Did you see it? So if you look really closely, look at the joystick right now and look at the car. You're going to start doing like normal clocks. And at the second one, you're going to linger just a tiny bit more downwards when the revolution is not neutral. So let's, boom, normal. Everything's normal. And now, boom, lingering. Lingering when the revolution is not done. Here you linger, and you get a bit of vector towards the right, and then you keep it up with your clock tornado spin throughout the whole way. Now you have a right vector. Now you're just doing your weirdy clock thingy. Now you do it again. By the way, you do it again here, except you're going down left instead of down right. And ready? You're going to do it again here because you have to turn. Oh shit, almost. I didn't see it here. Oh shit, that was it. Yeah. I think it happens right here. This is how you manage to go to this direction. See? And now you're stopping because you have the vector. You're doing the clock. Doing the clock. You're doing it again. You're turning right again here. So now you're going down left. Look. You're going down left. When the revolution is, fuck. When the revolution is 75%. Wait, where is it? I just saw it. So here, this is 1. And that was 2, I guess. That is still 2. Oh, there it is. We're right on it. Because I'm expecting you to go down right, but you go down left on the second one. So here, 1 and 2. No, shit, that was not it. Dude, I was just on it. This is crazy. So that's 1 right there. And that's 2. Oh. And right. Fuck. Dude. 1. And 2. Yeah. See how you lingered on that one? Watch how you linger on the left side here. So here you do both, actually. Yeah. So here you do both. You go down left at the middle of the revolution, then you go up at the neutral revolution. Watch it closely. So you go. Look at my joystick. You go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is what you do. Watch your joystick right now. 2. Shit. Oh, it's now. 1, 2, 3. See? Did you see that? This is why you go to the right. So here you're using a bit of the up input. I'll give it to you. Just a tiny bit. Okay, again, your joystick goes 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you disregard all of those inputs, like those inputs and those inputs. You disregard them. You linger on this side and on this side, which makes you go right because you do this side at half revolution and this side around neutral revolution. Okay? This was a bit hard to see even for me, like. So look at the joystick now. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? And what you do is that you linger on it because the revolution, like, so when you go up, the revolution is not neutral yet. So you kind of linger on it. You don't kind of linger on it. You linger on it, which is fine. I'm not saying it's bad. I just wish you did that every time on the neutral revolution. Hey, Rudy. He's not neutral, and his input is down right, so it's like going up left in neutral. Exactly. This is why he turns to the right instead of the left. Because he goes down left or down right when the revolution is half instead of neutral. So it makes the opposite direction, which is left. I mean, which is right. Woo, this is hard to follow. Jesus. This is, I've never seen that. That was super interesting. This is something that you do once you're advanced, right? We're doing an error analysis, Rudy. This is something you do when you're advanced, right? Because the fact that you're staying down left or down right at half a revolution is a non-neutral input, right? So here you go, up left, down right, down left, up left, down right. You know what I mean? I'm definitely not advanced. I mean, you are. You're locking and clocking for 5 levels straight, dude. You will be advanced when you start touching reverse clocks for sure. But this is really, what you're doing is really hard to do. Like, there's no denying that. And so let's see here. See, again. See that? See? Look at that. Look how long you stay on the left, on the left input. On the left and left, down, left input. Look. Ready? Boom. Do you see that? You stayed so long on it. Obviously, your nose is going to turn to the right. Look. Perfect. Perfect example. He's going left, down, left. Revolution is not even 75%. Your nose is going to turn to the right, which it does. See? It was like this. Now it's like this. And you keep it up, so it's a tornado spin, so it's going to come back around, right? So let's see how you take this turn. I want to see you take this turn. You just did it again. Right, so, ready? There it is. That's the input right there. There it is. Now your nose is going to go towards here. See? You drop the joystick, your nose is going here. Holy fuck, I love being right. Ready? You're like this. If you keep your joystick right now, your nose is going to go to the right. You ready? When you drop your joystick, your nose is going to be here. Ready? There we go. Now you're here, but it's the same thing. Okay? Do you understand how this is a mistake? Because we can see it, like we can see it all around. Like I'm not going to see every right turn. Now we've seen like 3 or 4. But do you see how this can be a mistake later on? Yes, there's a fan in my room. Do you see how this can be a mistake later on? Because when you do reverse clocks, man, You cannot do, like, you can do a reverse clock when the car is not neutral the same way, but you're going to be missing out on this. And even if you can turn to the right by doing a reverse clock now, shit, I was doing a clock here. Even if you do it now, not now, my bad. If you do it now, right? How are you then going to change your verticality if you don't do it neutrally? Right? See, I'm turning to the right by doing a half reverse clock starting from the bottom, which is wrong, at 75%, which is wrong. But then how are you going to change your verticality like this? You need to do that when the car is neutral, right? This is a must, right? You're not going to change your verticality. Imagine starting doing continuous inputs like the reverse clock with a different rhythms, which give you different results, and doing those when the car is not neutral. This is so fucking hard, man. It's going to be so hard. So you need to come back to the basics. Lock and clock, up or down. Like here, for instance, here. Watch me. Up. There we go. Did you see me go up? Linger on the upside when the car was neutral. I'll do it again here. Now. And now again. Okay? Do you know what I mean? And I'm going to do it now again. Well, I kind of fucked this level up, but... yeah, it will be a problem, yes. It will for sure be a problem later on. Okay. Up. I linger up. I linger up because I need to turn right. Okay. I need to turn right again. Up. Then clock it. Down. Up. I fucked it up. That's fine. Hoopla. Then up. So this is the exercise 2 basics, really. Okay, this is the basics of exercise number 2. This is why I say do exercise number 2 before doing lock and clock. You need to be good enough at exercise number 2 before doing lock and clock. So you do exercise number 2 and you master it, right? Just like that. Up, down, with all 3 phases. Up, down, up, down, up again. I made a tornado spin with it. Up again. Down. Then you start incorporating clocks. So clock. I'm going to go down and do a clock here. And then and only then you start locking and clocking. While basically also doing exercise number 2. Okay. Okay. So, to me, this is the most important point of this analysis. Don't worry, everybody does the same mistake. Everybody does that. I never did it because I focused on my tempo. But you're not the only one and the first one to whom I've said that you're making inputs in the middle of the revolution. The thing is that right now you're doing lock and clock. So... because it's more advanced, I guess you have more muscle memory, but you should like stop your muscle memory right now as soon as possible, because when you get to reverse clocks, woo! And this is not on me. You can do it. Yes, you can. See you later, Decluse. Okay, to me that was the most important. To me that was the most important part of this analysis. Okay. It's in the method, Rudy. Lock and clock it's in the method. Okay? Is that clear? So, let's bring it back. So, 2 main points, because, you know, the calibration was fun, but it's not the most important thing that I saw here. Firstly, and not as important, your rhythm and tempo. You should come back to a clean tempo, make inputs when the revolution is neutral, and have a clean rhythm on your clock. At least give it a shot for the rhythm thing. The tempo, you have to work on it. But the rhythm, you have to make a choice. Either you keep doing what you're doing, which I guess it's fine, right? It's just not clean, but it's fine. It's very fine if you know how to do it. Or so either you give it a shot or you don't, right? But I think if you don't, you're missing a tiny opportunity to get some feedback on your car for at least a quarter of the revolution. Which is fine, I guess. I mean, you still have 3/4, right? But the most important thing and the second thing of this analysis is the inputs at the exercise number 2, basically. Neutral revolution and directional inputs on neutral revolutions, even when locking and clocking. Again, with time, you will learn more inputs in between the revolution with time. But first, instead of focusing on them, you want to focus on the things that you can control. What can you control? The tempo. Okay? You can control the tempo, so control it and master it. Once you've mastered it, you can let empiricism teach you more inputs. That's fine by me. I don't care. Like, this is what I also do. Everybody wants to learn as many inputs as they can, right? But you shouldn't do it too early on, because otherwise you're kind of despising the basics. And the basics is what allows you to have the level that you have right now. Without the basics, you wouldn't be able to do those things. So take every opportunity you can get to anchor the basics even more deeply. Okay? Is that clear? Okay, is everything clear? Do you have any questions? This will be the end of the analysis, I think, here. But I don't know how long it's been, by the way. But do you have any questions? Have it all noted down. Okay, so there's 2 main things. Okay? 2 main things. You have a choice for the first thing, which is your tempo and rhythm clocks. You have a choice. You can give it a shot. But the second point, you don't have a choice. You need to come back to the basics. Okay? All right. Okay, I think this is the end of the analysis. And well, thank you for listening, and I hope that could help you. Don't really think I have a choice then. You don't have a choice for the second point. I think this is something you need to work on. Otherwise, you're going to get bad habits, and you're never going to know how to turn right by pressing up. You know what I mean? Thanks a bunch. It was really good. Okay, good. Well, I'm happy you find it helpful. I hope that this could touch, everyone who was here. This was a really interesting one. This is the first time I review someone who's already doing lock and clocks, except maybe for Ratus. But Ratus was one of those special cases. So yeah, that was holy shit, that was interesting. It was a bit more interesting than I thought it'd be, to be honest with you. Because when I saw you lock and clock at the beginning, I was like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. What am I going to be able to say? And then I started counting, because I never saw you go up on the joystick. I was like, I'm just going to start counting. And I didn't get to 5, man. In 3 minutes, you did not... You went up in 3 minutes like 3 or 4 times. You know what I mean? And this is not good, obviously. Go on YouTube as well. I didn't listen to a single thing. Yes, I think it will. But because of you guys, I will have to edit it, which is not going to be fun for me. So thank you a bunch. All right, so I'm going to stop the recording now. If you're on YouTube, thank you for watching, and I hope you found this helpful. I personally found it helpful, even for me. Okay? Okay. Bye-bye.